You have to be here to understand it. Yesterday, we got an interesting email from our apartment complex, and I was gonna make a full video on this, but I feel like, one, I don't think it's worth dedicating all that time to making something from, like, it's just not worth making an entire video about. And to be completely honest, I really don't want to, because it's not really a positive thing. But what I decided that I wanted to do with this video is I see a lot of stuff on Instagram and YouTube talking about living in Nashville and how great it is, and like everything, there are positives, but there are also negatives, and I feel like the negatives aren't really touched on all that much, for Nashville especially. So in this video, I wanted to give a realistic, like, what's it actually like to live in Nashville, Tennessee, specifically downtown Nashville, because that's where we live. Because there are some things that are true on the internet about it, but like everything, it's not always what it seems, especially like on the internet. Now, this video is going to be highly, it's going to be based on my opinion, and you may have a separate opinion, and that's okay. My opinion, I'm coming from a person that used to live in California and grew up in that kind of environment where there wasn't any humidity, so I will be focusing on the weather a good portion of this video, just to give you a little forewarning. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this video positive. This is a positive video, but I also want to be honest and realistic with you. We're also out on a walk. I thought it was going to be like cool and not like, I thought it was going to be pleasant because it's like 8:30 in the morning and it's pretty hot. That's one thing living in Tennessee that I didn't realize, and I don't think a lot of people do realize. When you move to Tennessee, don't expect the mornings to be cool. There are mornings that it is cool, but there are also a lot of mornings where it's cool, but it's really, really humid, and it just makes it not cool. Does that make sense? If you've lived in humidity or been in humidity, you know what I'm talking about. First, and probably one of the most important things, and it's definitely a major thing, is going to be the price. Like, how much does it actually cost to live in Nashville, Tennessee? Short answer, it is pretty expensive. I made videos about this before, but I used to live in Southern California, which is notorious for being really, really expensive. And the prices are, at least in downtown, are very, very comparable, if not more than what you get in California. So example would be, Savannah and I were looking at moving to Huntington Beach, California, which is right on the beach. It's about a mile from the beach. It's a beach town. Do you remember Hollister, the pier that's in all of the Hollisters? That was the Huntington Beach pier. But anyway, we were looking at apartments, and the budget was around like $2,500, and we found a couple of places that were around that mark, and that is what we currently pay for our 2-bedroom in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's a good deal. There are some that like hit like the $4,000 or $5,000 mark. There's a lot of new construction just beyond these two buildings behind me that we looked at them. They're well above the $3,000 to $4,000 mark for 1 to 2 bedroom houses. So housing is not what it used to be, which is affordable. It's definitely more expensive, and I think it's because of a lot of the people coming in. Landlords and stuff see the ability or the need, so they increase the prices and make it kind of crazy. So pricing, it's expensive. If you're moving here, plan on spending a good chunk of change for somewhere to live. And that kind of leads me into my second point, which is, if you grow up like in like California or New York or any place that has like a lot of a decently sized infrastructure, just know moving here that it's not going to be quite the same. We live in like the most populated area in Tennessee, and we're still having to drive like 20-30 minutes to go to like different places, just because of the way that the state is laid out. It's not like California where there's like 5 Targets within like 5 miles. It's a little bit different, and adjusting the expectations, I think, is important, because I think that's something we didn't do, and it took us a minute to kind of figure that out and readjust or realign our like what is normal, if that makes sense. Do you see that right there on the corner of my right there? That that was actually a mosquito bite that got me like right here. That's another thing. Mosquitoes and bugs, completely different here, unless you grew up with mosquitoes and bugs. And they'll just bite you anywhere. I've never had it. This is the email that we got yesterday from our apartment complex. It's very passive aggressive, to say the least. Basically, what I assume that they're talking about is there were a couple of elevator buttons that were busted, but the funny part is that none of the tenants did it. It was actually the construction workers that broke them. So I'm not really sure what they're talking about with property vandalism, but if you want to read it, you can pause the video and read the whole thing. I have no idea what they're talking about, to be honest. I didn't do it. I don't think. Now, there's a lot of positive things in Nashville. And one of the biggest ones is actually the skill level of the musicians here. Whenever we go, even just like out to dinner, it's not even like a bar. The musicianship is always amazing, and the sound system always sounds great. Like, it's a very, very, very good experience, and you only realize that when you go somewhere else and the musicians aren't as good, the sound system doesn't sound as great. I mean, even like the airport restaurants the people sound amazing, and that's very unique to Nashville because of the culture. The other big thing that I really enjoy and Savannah really enjoys is the food. There's a lot of different food, and you can get anything from like hot chicken to like tacos. Hot chicken's one of the things that they're known for, but there's just a lot of food, and I think it's because there's a lot of people here, and it's one of the bigger cities in the South. As we were driving home, Savannah reminded me of this. Another really nice thing, especially if you work for yourself, is I don't know of any other city like on this side of the country that you can charge as much as we do to take pictures and photos. It's a really big destination, like wedding area, and because of that, you're able to really make a good living. Like, we make a pretty decent living. Being like a photographer or videographer, and that's something that the only other places that I can think of that you could possibly do that is maybe New York and LA. So there's a huge benefit if you're like an aspiring photographer, videographer, or whatever, to do it here. And there's a million other things like the space, the greenery that you get, and everything else. And I think at the end of the day, before you move anywhere, I think it's smart to visit the place as much as you possibly can. Because I think the biggest thing that people get thrown in, I think there's two things that people really get surprised by. One is going to be the weather, because when you see pictures and videos, you're not experiencing what the weather's actually like. And it's very, you have to be here to understand it. And I think two, the other one is going to be the people. Like, some people are really, really welcoming, and some people, there have been people here that have had like generations and generations that have grown up here, and they're not the most welcoming. I guess it's like that for a lot of different places, but the South especially. And I think if you know that going in, that not everybody's going to be friendly, and the Southern hospitality thing is very specific to specific individuals. I think you'll be okay. But like I said, Nashville's been really good to Savannah and I. We've been able to start our lives as a married couple, start a business, and we're self-employed. And I don't think we would have been able to do that anywhere else, especially during the year of 2020 and everything else, anywhere else besides Nashville. So Nashville's been really good to us, and if you're thinking about moving here, the whole purpose of this video is to just kind of know both sides. Like everything, it's not a perfect place. It has its struggles. But I think if you really want to move here, then just do it and see if you like it. I think the best way to figure out if you actually like it is to actually do it. And I mean, worst case, if you don't like it, you can always just move somewhere else. I hope that made sense, and I really did try to keep it like very neutral, but honest. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you're thinking about moving to Nashville and you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll do my best to be honest and give my honest opinion.